Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. So, how was everybody's Christmas? Mine was pretty sweet in my opinion, spending Christmas time with my grandmother, my Aunt Karen, and my sweet little goddaughter, Elizabeth. And I'm also happy that I got to introduce them to the Jackbox games on my Nintendo Switch. And I'm also grateful for all the gifts that I received during the holidays. Plus, I would like to thank my friends and my family for their holiday support during my previous episode of My Little Pony Best Gift Ever. Anyway, today, I want to conclude my 9th season by looking at a New Year's special. If you may recall, the last movie I blogged as a New Year's special was Pokemon Jirachi Wishmaker, in order to celebrate the arrival of 2020, and I still can't believe that year put everyone into utter Tartarus, no thanks to the evil COVID welder and his bats making everybody sick. But that's beside the point. Today, we're going to go back to the Rankin Bass specials to look at a film where the famous Red Nosed Reindeer saved the new year. So, released to television on December 10th, 1976, the special is Rudolph's Shiny New Year. So, let's get started. In this special, not long after his first Christmas Eve flight with Santa Claus, Rudolph sets out to find the baby New Year, whom without, the new year cannot commence. However, Rudolph has very limited time, and he learns that Eon the Terrible is also searching for Happy, so that he can live forever and not turn into ice and snow. With the help from Big Ben, OM, Sir 1023, and 1776, Rudolph searches through the Archipelago of Last Year and races against Eon to ensure a Happy New Year's. So, what are my thoughts on this special? Well, in my opinion, I thought this was a very enjoyable New Year's special. And to further explain why I enjoy it, let's move on to Mustang notes. The special was filmed in 1975, and during its television broadcast debut, it was shown on ABC on December 10th, 1976. Also, when the special was released to DVD, it became part of a package of 3 Rankin Bass Christmas specials, which included The Year Without a Santa Claus and Nestor the Long-Eared Christmas Donkey, both of which I should look at on my show someday. Also, I must mention that, like Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, I was introduced to this special by watching it on the Disney Channel during the mid to late 1990s, and after watching it, I felt that it was a very nostalgic and interesting experience for me at the time. As for the stop motion itself, well, in my opinion, I think it's very decent and timeless, since this is from Rankin Bass, and I like the several islands that Rudolph visits while traveling in the Archipelago of Last Years. By the way, according to Father Time, when the old year has been retired, they settle on an island where time stands still. Among the islands are 1 million BC, which represents the age of dinosaurs and cave people, 4000 BC, which was probably the Old Testament Egyptian era, 1023, which is a medieval island filled with fairy tale and nursery rhyme characters, 1492, which was the time where Columbus was discovering that the earth was round, 1776, which represents the colonial American era, which celebrates the American Independence Day, 1893, which was where a major economic depression called the Panic of 1893 hit the U.S., and 1965, which was the time of Beatlemania and other British invasion-related hysteria and growing opposition to the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War. Now let's talk about the song numbers, and in my eyes, the songs in this special are pretty classical. However, some of my favorites in this special include Turn Back the Years, What a Wonderful World We Live In, Have a Little Faith in Me, and have a happy new year. Also, I like this special's version of Rudolph's theme song. Not only does it bring back a lot of fond childhood memories from the original 1964 special, but I also like the 2D animation that accompanies the song. And now let's move on to the characters and the voice actors. Our main hero, Rudolph the Red Nosed Reindeer, is once again voiced by Billy Mae Richards, who would later voice Tenderheart Bear in the Care Bears movie. Now, I still stand by that Rudolph has got to be one of my favorite Christmas characters next to Frosty the Snowman and Santa Claus, mainly due to his kindness, loyalty, bravery, character, and true heart. And in this special, Rudolph is tasked by Santa Claus and Father Time to find Happy the Baby New Year before the last stroke of midnight on December 31st. One of my favorite parts in this special is when Rudolph shares his misfit story with Happy. Speaking of which, next we have Happy, the Baby New Year, whom I think is vocalized by the late voice acting queen, June Foray. The reason why Happy ran away to the Archipelago of Last Years is because he felt hurt from people laughing at his big ears. To me, Happy is a really sympathetic character, and like Dumbo's, I think Happy's ears are really adorable, and I agree with Rudolph that they'll make everybody's new year feel really happy with so much laughter and joy. Next we have Father Time, voiced by Red Skelton. For those who are not familiar, Father Time is a mythical character who is usually depicted as an elderly bearded man carrying a scythe and an hourglass or other timekeeping devices. In this special, Father Time appears as the keeper of the passage of time, and he also serves as the special's narrator. He lives in a castle located directly below a bright and shining star in the northern skies. One of his duties is to oversee the ending of the old year and the crowning of the new year every December 31st. To me, Father Time is a wise and kind fatherly character, and while narrating, he's counting on Rudolph to get Happy back as soon as possible. Also, I did mention that during my blog of Christmas in July, that Father Time appeared in a photo while Rudolph was singing No Bed of Roses. Next we have Big Ben, the Clockwork Whale, voiced by Harold Perry. Now, if you may remember, I was first introduced to Ben in Rudolph and Frosty's Christmas in July, where he served as a minor supporting character, listening to Rudolph's troubles, and he brought Jack Frost from South America to help Frosty and his family back to life. Anyway, in this special, Ben has a bigger supporting role, serving as transport to help Rudolph get from island to island, and to help fend off against Eon. Also, I've heard some folks say that Ben is like a good guy version of Monstro from Pinocchio, and to be quite honest, I agree with them. Next we come to OM, the ruler of 1 million BC, voiced by Maury Amsterdam. OM is the first character to accompany Rudolph in his expedition to find Happy. By the way, before Rudolph got to his island, Happy was playing with several dinosaurs until they laughed at his ears. Anyway, in my eyes, OM is an excitable cave dweller, and I like his philosophy stating if you'll laugh, you'll find it's always raining sunshine. The next addition to the party is Sir 1023, voiced by Frank Gorshin, who played the Riddler in the 1960s Batman TV series with Adam West. 1023 is a knight in shining armor with a long beard who happens to be the proprietor of his fairy tale and nursery rhyme island. In my eyes, 1023 has a strong sense of justice, and every word he says is pretty much shouted at the top of his lungs, and they always crack me up. The last supporting character in the special is 1776, or Sev for short, voiced by Paul Frees, who you may know as the voice of the Haunted Mansion's ghost host and the first voice of Professor Ludwig von Drake. Not much to say about him, except for the fact that he resembles Benjamin Franklin, and every day his island celebrates the first American Independence Day. Also, after Happy runs away again, Seb feels bad for being cruel to the poor little guy. Finally, we come to Eon the Terrible, also voiced by Paul Frees. This character is a giant vulture who is stated to live for approximately 1 eon. Upon his death, he will supposedly turn into ice and snow. During the special, it becomes pretty close for his time to be up. So, to prevent this, Eon goes hunting for Happy New Year to make time freeze. That way he can live forever. Anyway, in my opinion, Eon can be very ferocious and intimidating, but he can also be pretty silly at times. Thankfully, at the end, when Eon sees Happy's oversized ears, he laughs so hard that it becomes impossible for him to turn into ice and snow. So, he thus gets the result that he needs. Goodness. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Rudolph's Shiny New Year is pretty much a decent holiday special and an underrated gem. The stop motion is classic when it comes to Rankin Bass. The voice acting ranges from great to phenomenal. The songs are sweet to listen to. The new characters that Rudolph meets are pretty memorable, even though Big Ben and 1023 stick out the most in my opinion. Happy was a very relatable character, and Eon was a very intimidating villain, but sometimes pretty humorous. Also, after watching this special again, I think I should be on the lookout for other New Year specials and movies in the future. And trust me, I might get to this one someday. But anyway, if you get the chance, be sure to check it out. It's a special that every Rankin Bass fan should watch almost every New Year's Eve. As for my rating, I'll give it an 86% out of 100. Well, folks, that about wraps it up for Season 9. Be sure to join me in January 2022 for Season 10. Until next time, this is Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, saying, Mustang Power, and may all of you have a happy New Year.